But having said that, Erika's pissing me off.
I know. Yes.
What's this like for you? Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Episode 20.
Mm-hmm.
New Year, Old Grudges. So, okay, my biggest issue with reviewing the show is twofold.
Okay.
Number one, I'm very aware that this is a reality show, so I'm not sure what angle to approach it from. Like, I'm very aware these are real people.
Mm-hmm.
And to a large extent, real feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So I talk about things differently when it's real versus it just being like a narrative. Like if these were characters or a dramatization, I would be treating it differently. Mm-hmm. There's a handful of times where I can't tell. I'm like, is this authentic or being produced? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's slightly different than something like, say, like The Circle on Netflix, because that's taking somebody and putting them in a box for 2 weeks. And I feel more confident assessing that than I do something like this, where, like I said, it's hyper produced. Mm-hmm. So do you have a take on that?
I mean, not particularly. Sorry to like not yes and you. But I can see where it gets a little tricky kind of having reactions, because it's like there is a level of like lying that happened, or not like lying, but there is a level of producing.
Well, okay, so for instance, the scene a couple weeks ago with Kyle and Maurizio and Dorit and PK, where the four of them were having an intimate dinner and they kind of put Erika through the ringer.
Right.
Like they kind of were joking and laughing. And the thing is, that is natural. That's going to happen even with people who care a great deal about each other. And with this, and in a normal show, the characters wouldn't all be sat down at the end of the season and shown everything they hadn't seen. And so it's the kind of thing where it's like that's where I'm getting thrown, because I'm not mad at any of the four of them for having that moment of what I would consider catharsis. Erika's going to be.
Yes.
And it's going to complicate next season. So that's where I'm getting thrown. That's where I'm getting confused. So how do you take this show? Do you take what you're seeing as gospel, or do you take it with a grain of salt?
Kind of both. Because I take it with a grain of salt, because I know that they're probably going to apologize to each other later. And I don't think that like things are going to be completely okay, because that's still going to be in the back of their mind. But a perfect example is Lisa Rinna and that guy Elliot Mintz randomly at the Chinese New Year's party, because then they reference like the whole thing at Dorit and PK's.
What's the
so
is Dorit?
Well, so that's the thing. I think they were in China when this happened, but so on a group trip. But so Lisa insinuated that everyone got up at Dorit and PK's to all go do coke in the bathroom. And Dorit was like, I have children, baby. What are you talking about? You know.
Well, again, though, but that's what I'm talking about with the reality TV of it all.
Yeah.
Because in the real world, even people with children sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And, when you want to
everyone likes candy.
Yeah. So and then I think that, like, that's kind of a part of the cast members, is that they have to understand that they are not in a normal situation.
They're signing up for this.
Yeah, where they get to see what people say when they're not in the room.
Because here's my thing. I think every one of these women is lovely and probably a good person. They have people they love. They have people they care about. They have people that care about them. So it's like, I don't want to go on this like character assassination based on like a little bit of a clip. But having said that, Erika's pissing me off.
I know. Yes.
What's this like for you?
So being an Erika apologist, I guess, since I'm like the only one that is okay. And the reason why I'm coming, I'm not going to go like fully into detail, but I have been put in a position where I had something happen to me, and then there was a particular narrative, well, more than once really, but there was a particular narrative that a part of that scenario was trying to spin about me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of speculation and just shit that I still to this day don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have to come from a place of like, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, if you have to ask me about it, I don't know what to tell you. So that's why I keep space for Erika.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that lawyers are saying stuff and all of that. But girl, when you talk about this accident and every time.
And you have to pause to remember your lines.
Dude, okay. When I watched this, I literally was like, no.
I was rooting for you.
Yes, we were all rooting for you. But so
well, and she also just won't say, I cannot talk about it. I have
know,
been like she's implying that.
Yes.
But she won't be like, there is legal, my counsel has implored me to not speak about this, or that is why I'm only giving you certain details.
I feel like I'm going to be screaming until the day that I die. Just say the thing. Because I do that. I was talking about that the whole time we were watching Hill House and Midnight. Just say the thing. Say the thing, because it just
as someone who doesn't say the things frequently, it's hard sometimes. but
you feel so much better. But so everything would look so much less sus if she would just be like, as much as I would love to answer that, my counsel says I can't. Mm-hmm. And it pains me that I can't.
One day soon, I'll fill you all in.
And not even one day soon I will, but you could just say, I hope that I'm able to talk about it soon. But you're allowed to just say, I'm not at liberty to disclose that. And I think had she done that from jump, I think this would look completely different. But so that's where it gets kind of like about it with this whole like puppeteering, is that do they want her to look shady as fuck? Because who knows? Maybe she has said that on multiple occasions and Bravo has just kind of like...
Bravo's on her side.
Okay. Well,
I can just tell. She's getting a very gentle...
Yeah. So, I take them back. But I just... say, because you could see it. You could see it across her face because she's thinking, what can I say? Mm-hmm. Because... who knows? Maybe because when she...
or what did I say?
Yeah,
I need to...
right. And so because when she divulged in La Quinta about the accident, you could tell that she was like, I give no fucks. I am tired. Fuck it. She very much was like that. Now that the dust, I mean, it's still settling, but had settled a little bit. You don't know if she got bopped on the nose from counsel and was like, you can't talk about that. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The other thing, and this is actually where she lost me. I'm very forgiving, and I mean, she's possibly not lost forever, but what happened? Was she just drunk last week? Like, why did she make peace with Sutton, and then it's like that was just wiped?
I think that she made peace with Sutton, but I also think that Kyle bringing up the thing at that dinner about how her and Sutton had a conversation. Stop fucking telling people, Kyle.
Okay, but no, I'm a Kyle. I relate to Kyle because especially when in the dinner at the Chinese New Year dinner where she was like, speaking of sweeping things under the rug, Sutton, and then it didn't go, because at first it seemed shady, but then she was like, well, that didn't go how I thought. Like, she was like, I thought I was giving them an opportunity to like she thought she was giving them a victory lap. Mm-hmm. And it's like, many times in my life, I have seen problems coming between two people, and I've tried to mediate it, and I've ended up instigating, and it gets turned around back on me because, like, well, Will said this, and I was like, what I meant in saying that, I was trying to nudge the two of you closer together, and so it's like in that regard, I relate to Kyle. But you have to assume that everyone is going to be approaching when you're trying to mediate, you have to assume that the parties you're trying to mediate are also participating in a mediation.
Right.
And if people are...
Right. And so why wouldn't she do a temperature check with Erika first, who is famously not consistent with her want to communicate or her, willingness to communicate.
So that is consistent.
Or
her inconsistency is consistent.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most that she has kind of gone like, I give no fucks to like taking it all back. Like this, but because that inconsistency is newer, why wouldn't you take that and be like, oh, okay, so she is kind of like inconsistent with it. So let me temperature check with her, the one that's like the most unstable. And I don't, that's for lack of a better word, but like, let me check with her before I say anything.
So I think is what you're saying, and probably what Erika was saying, is Erika was fine to move forward with pleasantries, but Sutton seems to be trying to actually squash, like actually get down into the he said, she said.
Yeah.
And that's where, because like and that, again, if they would just say that, that would be fair, where Erika's like, I'm fine to be in social settings with you again, but we're not close. Like that's going to take time, if ever.
Well, and I think that I don't even think she was willing to even do that at this go around. I think had Kyle not brought up the conversation that she and Sutton had before this dinner, I think we would have had an experience that we had the previous week in Del Mar. I don't think they would be bestie braiding each other's hair, but I think that Erika would have been more willing to participate socially with Sutton. But because all bringing up that stuff with Kyle and Sutton then just shampooed that rage and just slammed her right back to where she was before, which is, I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm not going to say anything at all. Which, I'm sorry, more people need to lean into that. I think that her response, which is a non-response to that dinner, was perfectly fine. The fact that everyone decided to stop talking, like, that made it more weird. She shook her head, yeah. But I mean, she had nothing nice to say, so you all forced her to look like a bitch by saying, I have nothing to say. Because she had nothing nice to say.
There's actually a lot that they don't show on this show. Because there's often kind of like cutaways to something like Garcelle's date.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean...
I thought we were going to get way more of because it was in the teaser for last week. For this week. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel like mercifully we didn't because
that poor guy.
He was nervous. I don't know what he was talking about, being like, I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
He was, and she was trying to help him, but no. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, to be going on a first date with someone and then have like the camera crew and everything.
Well, and not only that, but it's like a first date during COVID when you're in the back of your tailgate instead of like at a busy restaurant where you can like talk about other stuff.
Lisa, Renette, and Garcelle have had kind of a subplot this whole episode, and in finale fashion, they sort of put a button on that where they're good, but they're not too good.
No.
Garcelle makes sure that you're not wondering where you stand with her.
No, you know exactly where you're at.
And Garcelle really wants Lisa to reach out to Denise Richards about their altercation or whatever happened last season. I didn't watch, so I don't know. And Lisa said, sure, when hell freezes over.
She said, give it time.
And then she said, and maybe that time will never come.
Well, and I love that she was like, I do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I don't care what anyone has to say.
Which she really does. I came into this with a fondness for Lisa, and I'm leaving with a fondness for Lisa, because she really is one of those where you don't... Again, it's in a different way than Garcelle, but you know where you stand with Lisa, and there's nothing behind. And I'm not implying that she's shallow, but I'm saying she leaves it all on the stage,
which is kind of what Garcelle's issue is with Lisa, because she feels that she was being disingenuous with the whole thing with Denise, and that she wasn't being a true
Lisa's
friend.
a girl. She is a girl at heart, up to and including the way she was like giddily, or she was like dancing at the end. Like,
well, and like nobody wants to do anything with me.
No, yeah.
She's jovial.
I think Sutton is still probably, I don't like phrasing it this way, but probably my least favorite. Although I have, much like Crystal, I have made my peace with Sutton. And in her defense, they stay throwing her in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like they stay throwing her on the spot.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. And because she doesn't, like, she doesn't take the ball and run with it. She just, like, she catches it and she goes, oh. Like, where do I go? And so it's very weird.
It's very funny. I also, if you've watched any of our coverage, you're well aware how I feel about Kathy. You told me it was how you got me in, is you were like, Kathy Hilton's on the season, you're gonna love her, and you hooked me with a few gimmicks, but she is definitely a still waters run deep. I find the amount of power she has to be staggering. She is so powerful. She's barely on the show at this point. She's a friend of the show, and she very calmly approaches Erika and very much is like, I wanted to talk to you. Like, I relate. Like, you're sensitive. I'm sensitive. I know. And she was like, you need to go talk to Sutton. And Erika was just like, shit. You literally see Erika be like, okay. Like, she can make them do stuff. And I get the sense that she often uses that power for good. But maybe not exclusively.
I think overall she is a benevolent ruler, but she also has a touch
but she'll
of
remind
Trixie.
you. Yeah,
she has a touch of Trixie underneath there.
It's staggering because even the scene in the beginning where she was renovating the house and Sutton came to visit.
That $52 million home.
And just Sutton was just like, I'll be in the poorhouse over there. Like,
I could fit 3 of my houses in this one house. What do you do with 18,000 square feet? What do you do?
Loaf. I mean, stroll.
I mean,
a robe for every room.
Yeah, really. Wow.
It's very interesting to watch. I am looking forward to. I hope she stays with the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing where is she going to be on the reunion?
Yes.
Okay.
She is not on the couch the whole time.
Okay, they bring her in.
Yeah, but they bring her in, and then
this was kind of one of Crystal's big showcases. She was showcasing the Chinese New Year, and
she is so pretty. I'm sorry to interrupt you. She is so pretty.
I love her. She's such a stabilizing force.
Yes.
That I think, like, so many people think reality TV needs crazy, crazy, crazy.
No, we need solve.
You need combinations.
Yeah.
Like, you need, like, It was kind of like why this most recent season of Drag Race, All Stars 6, rather, of All Stars, was so fascinating, is because it was sort of, they were all wild cards. Like, it wasn't all of one thing where everyone's trying to compete to be the same thing. And she is so pretty. She is very confident works. That's not exactly the word I want, but she knows who she is.
Okay.
She knows who she is and what she's about. And I kind of love Rob. He seems to be just totally, I love a husband that's just completely in love with his wife. And he seems to be just completely down, like, for whatever. And I really enjoyed the Chinese. Do they usually take like a trip abroad?
Yeah.
And they didn't because of COVID?
Right.
Okay. Because she was like, when I can bring you to China.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to see that. I loved all the stuff. I love this kind of thing, learning about different cultures. We had a similar thing with Garcelle with the Haitian dinner. And just a reason. I'm one of those, I'm an appreciation type of person.
Right.
There's people that have like the appropriation versus appreciation. I'm very much in the appreciation camp. I like the dressing up. I like the trying the food, trying the stuff, and it seemed really, really genuine from a show that can be questioned for its. And it was that beautiful restaurant that they filmed like a bunch of stuff in, but it's in Kill Bill, the big fight with Crazy 88, and I was like, yep.
Even I knew that.
We were talking a little bit about the fashion, and We liked most of it. You weren't super fond of Kathy's dress.
What was the frill? The frill collar.
I liked the pattern and I liked the flowy skirt. But you're right. Once we got up here, it was competing.
Much like the glitter in my eyebrows, I should have stopped. And I was like, there's something else. And then I was like, no, I should have stopped where I stopped.
But then there were the sleeves.
Yeah. Well, and then she had like a gauzy wrap too. And it's just like, no, too many things.
I also thought it was a really, really big flex for Crystal to invite close friend of hers, Miss Piggy.
She really did.
Dorit had ostrich feathers on.
She really did. It was
even the makeup was like
the hair, the earrings, the style of the dress with the red sweetheart top, like
the boa. I mean, it was a look. It was a look. She was committed to it.
Well, we can always rely on Dorit, and I love that they opened this show with like her showing her daughter Phoenix her outfit, and then she was like, "What do you think?" And she goes, "Who are you wearing?" She said, "Louis Vuitton. Do you like it?" She goes, "Well, not with the Gucci."
And Dorit gooped. She was like,
"No, not with the Gucci." On Watch What Happens Live afterward, they did a thing where she had to like answer, and like the game I think was called Make Dorit Short-Winded, and so they had to spin the wheel for like a certain number of seconds that she had to answer a question, and one of them was where is your accent from, or why do you have an accent? So she said her parents have accents and she's lived abroad, and that
she did it.
I was like,
she did it.
Look at you.
Yeah, I kind of loved it. I did that thing where I stuck my foot in a little bit because, I watched the whole I watched the first 16 episodes and I was like, oh my God, I got to talk about this. Mm-hmm. And then I decided that we were going to start covering it. And then it kind of took a fun thing away from me, like a guilty pleasure, because I made it work. Mm. And so now I like have to watch it with like writing down notes and stuff. And
well, luckily for you, there are so many other versions of the show that can be like just the thing that you watch.
We'll see, but we will be back for the 4-part reunion. This is going on for another month. I was like, should we wait and just like do it all in one swoop, or no, we'll be back next week.
Oh my God. Have you seen the trailer for it?
I started to be like, I don't want to watch a trailer. They'll give away too much, but it's like, we've got 2 hours. So, or 4. Are these hour-long reunion episodes? 4 hours? Are there going to be musical numbers?
They go in. They
pull the tapes.
The little bit that I have seen, like Andy goes for
this
Erika.
Is my first reunion, which is something I've been aware of as like a pop culture phenomenon. Mm-hmm. But this is the first time I'm going to be able to speak the language.
Yeah, no, it's to the like. There's one point in the trailer where she she has to like take a second. She's in front of a firing squad. Erika. Yeah. I am scared, but I can't wait. But I am scared.
Did you want to explain the bunny thing to me, or is that
I will try. Okay, so when Kim was still on the show, she was still in the midst, I think, of her alcohol usage and her pill usage. And Lisa had a sister that died from addiction.
Okay.
And so it's very like triggering for her. And so they were on a trip, and so like Kim showed up late. She was like clearly on something, and so Lisa tried to reach out to Kim, and then they just like rah, 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 forever, and then like kind of made up but didn't, kind of make up but didn't, kind of make up but didn't.
An apparent staple of the show.
Yeah. And then they have a dinner at Kyle's house, and then Kim is off the show at this point, but so she still comes up every now and then. And so Lisa was trying to extend an olive branch, and Kim's daughter, Brooke, I think, had a baby. And so to make nice, Lisa brought her a bunny, like a stuffed animal for the son. Well, she didn't do anything with it. So she brings it to the reunion to give it back to Lisa Rinna, because she said that she didn't feel like it had good energy and she wanted to give it back to Lisa Rinna. Your face. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stunt.
Yeah. Kim
Stunt queens.
or Kyle. So Kim was sitting next to Kyle, and you saw a little bit when they like played it. If Kyle could have turned herself inside out, she would have. She was like this, like turned completely inward because it was so awkward. And then Lisa was like, I understand. And like Lisa cried or whatever.
That's like layers. There's a baby involved.
Yes.
We're going to be catching up on some of the stuff. So, all right. Well, like and subscribe. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/soimwatching you can follow us listed at So I'm Watching, Instagram at So I'm Watching This Show, Cashapp, Venmo, all of that. We'll put it down there, and we'll see you next week, and hopefully forever.
Also, I just wanted to say, I didn't do this just for this. I have to do makeup things, so I have to go to work. But so I do makeup stuff, so hence the glitter in the eyebrows.
Leave the mystique. Don't explain.
All the time. Anyway.
Between the three of us, people are like, I can't catch one.
Disco ball. Goodbye.